Undercover.
Just basically saying, yeah, we did it, just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
How mad would that be?
I'm loving you.
You photoshopping, blah, 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 blah. Suck him up, I was fucking... Yeah.
There's a page. Go check it out. He tells me a wild card.
Welcome back to another episode of Myths and Mysteries in Black and White with you two hosts Josh and Ed.
Hello.
Ed, question for you. Roughly on this, it's not... Well, no, it's not really the same topic, right? The last two times we said who'd win in a fight between, like, Bigfoot or gorilla and men and all that, right? Yeah. On the similar sort of path,
Right.
there's a civil war of England. Who's winning, the North or the South?
Even though we're from the south,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I think the north.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, the reason is just because it's going to sound stupid, but I feel like it just makes them hardier. It's because of like the weather differences.
Right, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Down in the south, like the weather is a lot tamer.
Yeah.
It's a lot more tame, whereas at north,
It's bloody cold all the time.
They always seem to get the brunt of it.
Yeah.
So that they're just that little bit like hardier.
Yeah.
So I feel like the north would win.
Yeah.
But, you know, I might be wrong, but...
I literally just thought that off the top of my head. I couldn't think of a question. I was like, oh, fuck, that'll do.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But at least, I wouldn't say it'd be like a walkover.
Oh, God, no.
I'd say it'd be
a scrap.
Yeah, 100%. But no, I do feel like the North might just edge it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But,
although I do feel the South are quite stubborn.
Yeah.
We wouldn't allow ourselves to lose.
No, that is very true. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I'm fairly stubborn.
Yeah.
No. I'm not. No, I'm not. It's not happening. Ed, you've only got one arm. No!
Right, I've still got another.
Yeah, exactly. 'Tis but a flesh wound. If you know, you know.
I know. Let us know what you think. Who would win in the Civil War of England? The youth? The North or the South?
The youths.
The Utes. But no, as you can tell by the title, today we are talking about the Goatman.
Mm.
Or what else did you say it was known as last week?
I found there's 4. The one I said last week is the Pope Lick Monster.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, there is different ones. It's like the Maryland Goatman, the Waterford Sheepman, and the Proctor Valley Monster.
Oh, right. So, hope you're all comfortable. Drink, food, all that jazz. And Ed, take it away, my friend.
Well, I just want to say, like, being like into cryptozoology and that, it seems like humans' biggest fears is something crossed with a human.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, because you got like werewolves, say,
Man,
which is half
wolf.
man, half wolf. There's stories of bearmen, hyena man, lizard men.
Yeah, it always
Mothman.
seems to be, yeah.
You know, a creature what has a stature of a person.
Yeah.
It's mainly bipedal and predatory.
Mm-hmm.
So then I heard of the Goatman.
Right.
And it's like, okay.
Out of all of them, yeah, they all sound
right.
like medicine, and it's just like...
But then again, if that headbutts you...
Oh yeah, it's doing you in.
But then, because with cryptozoology, like, it is the study of hidden animals. So this animals that are not known to science, like we always say about like Bigfoot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they're animals.
Yeah, this obviously ain't an animal because it's crossed with...
Well, no, it could be, because it's like other bipedal animals.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like, these is more of like... would I say like more of a paranormal thing, because there's been stories of Goatman like wielding an axe.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that animalistic.
Yeah.
It's more human.
Yeah.
So then you get into the whole plethora of, is it man-made? Is it from an experiment?
All that sort of stuff.
You know,
yeah.
like when we've briefly spoke about it before, but that's like when we went to Cannock Chase, and if you've heard of Cannock Chase, there's stories of the Pigman, which apparently was from an experiment back during the Cold War.
Yeah.
So then, with the stories of the Goatman, could that then be
Similar, on a similar sort of line with it, sort of thing. Yeah.
But no. But first off, I'm going to leave the two big ones like Maryland Goatman and Pope Lick Monster till the end.
Right. Okay.
So first I'm going to do the Waterford Sheepman. The Waterford Sheepman is an abominable creature that terrorised the small rural town of Waterford, Pennsylvania. In the early 1970s, it lurked in farm fields, stalking the unwilling animal in a desire to tear it apart and feed on its flesh and blood. Hundreds of people witnessed this creature. It's also referred to as a goatman. Marilyn knew of the Goatman legend as a teenager in the 70s, but along with the stories, she also seen it with her own eyes on more than one occasion. I lived on Baghdad Road, and I saw this figure running across the dirt road at one point near the old sawmill. She remembers that at the time there was much talk about the legend, with many people catching a glimpse of the creature darting across the road or into the brush along farm fields. She had a second encounter with the monster when she was 17. He was there that one night I drove home, and right before I turned into my driveway, there he was, running across the road and into the woods. You'd think with a lot of these cryptids, they'd stay away from roads.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, because obviously that's where you're going to get noticed the most. If you're meant to be all hidden and...
Yeah. But then again, if it is more of an animal...
It's just going to...
It knows no
natural
different.
Instinct, yeah. Look how many roadkill... It needs
to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
It's
What's the quickest way? The road.
Yeah. Well, wherever. It's just got to... I've got to go there.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like... Oh, I need to map out my fucking...
Sat nav.
I want to go over there. There I go. Waterford native Richard Galbraith knows the legend well, and as a child he was told, "Don't let the sheepman get you."
Oh, right.
He was warned to avoid the area of Pennsylvania Route 19 on the outskirts of the city at night, or else the same fate would befall him. That happened to so many unwitting animals, the blood-crazed sheepman would tear him apart. Richard was wise to take the warnings to heart, for there were many alleged incidents of the sheepman violently attacking humans as well as ravaging livestock.
Right. See, when you were saying that at the first place, it sounded like another one of them, like, stories that parents tell their kids. Mm-hmm. But it's very specific, that one area.
Yeah. Well, like you say, everywhere's got a boogeyman.
Yeah.
Everywhere's got a boogeyman. If that's a werewolf, if that's a wendigo, if that's, you know, some sort of monster, it's like, don't go out in the woods or that monster's gonna get you. Yeah. But what gets me is there has been incidents where this so-called cryptid, this so-called monster, has actually attacked people.
Yeah.
And ravaged livestock. So the thing is then, that sounds more credible.
Yeah.
Right? Where are these statements?
And where are the victims?
That's what I mean. Where are the statements from the victims? Because it never said anything about killing them.
No, just said hurting them, yeah.
Right? So, where are these statements from the people that have so-called been attacked?
Uh-huh.
Where is, you know what I mean? Like, where is all the media or police reports or stuff like that to show that these actually happened?
Yeah.
Or is it all hearsay?
Yeah.
Herb Kinney, a Waterford native and businessman, knew the terror of the sheepman firsthand. He had a friend who was a victim of the ungodly creature as it lay in wait for him on top of the Waterford covered bridge on 9 Mile Road that spans LeBoeuf Creek. That's another thing, right? You'll hear it a lot with these Goatman stories. There's always a bridge.
Say it's just giving me Billy Goat's Gruff vibe.
Exactly
so
that.
Just like an off story of that.
Yeah, it's a more horror.
Come from.
Yeah, a horror infused Billy Goat
Gruff. Yeah.
It was always said the sheepman lived in a cave on Baghdad Road. He was known to frequent the covered bridge southeast of town on East Street. He was said to hide up in the rafters of the old bridge and jump down to terrorise young lovers that had parked in the bridge.
He stopped dogging.
Yeah.
He was doing the Lord's work.
All it was a security guard with fucking mad hair.
Yeah, I was going to say, just a big hairy dog. He's like, oi! Had a groatly voice, so it sounded like a goat. It's just, oi!
Get out of here!
Pack that in, you fucker.
Jeremy, put your pants back on. Two couples from Erie were travelling into the bridge late one summer night in a dark blue Ford Mustang convertible with the top down. All right, Billy Big Bollocks. It had started to sprinkle, so they pulled inside the bridge to put the top up. But put the top up when they were attacked. The boys fought. Boys? Oh, two couples. That's right.
Okay.
That just caught me off guard there. Right. The boys fought off the creature and peeled out, filling the bridge with smoke from the burning rubber of their tyres. The roof to the car was damaged, ripped, torn, and mangled to the point it had to be replaced. Right. I think because they had this nice blue Mustang convertible.
Yeah.
Let's say, I'm just spitballing here. One of the dads bought them this car.
Mm-hmm.
They tried putting the top up and completely
mangled it.
And to get out of it, they said they were attacked by a two-legged sheep monster.
The thing is, if that's the case, right, someone had to have come up with that idea first.
Well,
how did the others not going around and like, what?
Yeah, but no, because,
that's the best you can come up with.
But the thing is, because it's a legend, it's known.
Yeah, true.
Well, no, it's that sheep monster.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you now, if my son, well, actually, I'm not probably the best. I'm like, was it? Let's go. But to a lot of people, if your kid comes home and says, look at what this monster's done to the roof of my car, you'd be fucking raging.
Oh, 100%.
Like, why are you telling me this horse shit? Just tell me the truth. You didn't know how to put it up.
No, I promise. Yeah, it was a sheep man, Goatman thing.
It was Goatman. Oh, dear. All four of the young people insisted the incident really happened, telling the tale to their parents. The parents, fearing embarrassment, and would not allow any police report to be filed.
What if they were doing drugs and they saw it, but they didn't see it? It was like a hallucination.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, like you said, they tried to do the roof up and they ballsed it up. They're like, oh, what are we going to do? Well, we did see that Goatman thing. It's like, yeah, I'm supposed to have my head, boss.
Yeah. I'm off my back and head.
Dad, guess what I just saw? It's like, son, what are you taking?
Yeah.
No, nothing, I swear.
But that makes it a little bit credible. No, not in the sense of a Goatman doing it. But you imagine it being told, like, no, that did not happen. I cannot tell the community this.
Yeah.
So I am not telling the police.
Yeah.
But then that takes that credibility away in the same breath because it's not reported.
Yeah, I know
it's
what you
just
mean.
hearsay.
Yeah.
It could be then Chinese whispers.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's so on and so forth. Yeah, and now we've got this monster. Nevertheless, the countryside surrounding Waterford was abuzz in the 1970s with stories and sightings of the creature known as the Sheepman. It seemed the legend faded with the decade, for there have not been any sightings of the creature since the close of the 70s.
Right, so yeah, like you said, it could just be an old wives' tale and it's just died out. Especially as like modern culture would have gotten more and more. It's just like nowadays you would just be like, nah, bollocks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But talking from not a believer, but as say this was real.
Mm-hmm.
Say this creature was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's either died.
Yeah, I was gonna say it could be dead. Yeah,
it's either died or it's moved on.
Yeah, especially if it is, let's just say, like a real animal. You don't know how old it realistically was.
No.
So yeah, it could have been a Nas knockings in the 70s, and now it's popped it.
Yeah, But as like we know, as with animals, there has to be reproduction. There has to be more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? With the abundance of sightings appear to have happened, there could have been a clan or a family or a nest or whatever you want to call them.
Mandem.
Yeah. So, out the 70s, they've had these abundance of sightings. They've ravaged livestock and everything. Like, right, we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have moved on. I mean, there's no depictions of height, size,
what it roughly looked like.
Yeah,
anything.
because then if there was like different sizes, then it could have been like, well, that could have been a male, that could have been a female,
things like that.
Old, stuff like that. Whereas there's no.
It's here and then it's gone.
Yeah, there is no actual tellings of what size, what it looked like.
Yeah,
if anything. I mean, it's an interesting one,
yeah,
but it just seems a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, there's too many what ifs about it.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, it's just there's sightings, but there's no official reports.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, as a cryptozoologist, I need reports.
Yeah,
I
know what you mean.
Details,
something to go on.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't just turn up at Baghdad Road and be like, I'm looking for a sheep, man. It's anywhere from 2 foot to 20 foot tall.
Could be skinny, could be fat.
Yeah, exactly. I need some specifics.
Yeah.
What did it look like, or what did they look like? You know.
Yeah.
How many? Like, what kind of teeth did it have? What colour its wool or fur was?
Yeah.
You know, did it have horns? Did it not? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so vague.
There's literally nothing to go on, realistically.
It's such a grey area.
Yeah.
That it just seems
to just be a wives' tale.
Yeah.
But he was doing the Lord's work and stopping them dogging, so...
Yeah, exactly. It's not much, but it's honest work. Well done, sheep man. There's probably some people like, no. Right. Next, we're going to talk about the Proctor Valley Monster. The Proctor Valley Monster is said to be a Bigfoot-type entity or a bovine-like creature that roams around Proctor Valley Road near San Diego, California. The road itself is well known for a plethora of paranormal and strange animal activity.
Oh, okay.
One story from the road's history is of a teenage couple who go parking in the woods off Proctor Valley Road in the southeast corner of San Diego County in California. The car won't restart, or maybe they had a flat tyre.
What's that got to do with the car starting?
Yeah. And the boy gets out to investigate, but he doesn't come back. The girl stays inside, terrified because she hears scratching on the outside of the car. It just turns out she took the handbrake off and it rolled onto him, and he's there like, "Help me!" Police find her the next day, still hiding in the car. The boyfriend, he's dead, torn and bloody, dangling from a tree while his hands brush the car.
Oh God!
Producing scratching noises.
It literally was him.
Yeah. The story sometimes has mysterious, huge footprints found nearby. The legend of the Proctor Valley Monster grew, and it's described as a 7-foot tall, hairy humanoid, like a Bigfoot, or sometimes like a cow-like animal, with its body parts in the wrong place.
He's got an ass on his elbow and...
Yeah. The Proctor Valley Monster is assumed to be responsible for livestock mutilation that occurs every now and then. The Bonita Museum in Chula Vista has a casting of a strange footprint alleged to be that of the monster. For years, I've heard stories of the Proctor Valley Monster. Proctor Valley is northeast of Otay Lakes. Hang on. No. I can't. Oh, I'm fuming. That was coming from the depths of hell, and it's gone. Oh. I don't want to do this anymore.
Fuck the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Proctor Valley is northeast of Otay Lake. Some say it's a deranged cow, and others say it's San Diego's version of Bigfoot. And that is from Roger the Inquirer, the Net. La Jolla has its munchkins. Old Town has its ghosts. And East County has its Proctor Valley monster. The old PVM seems to be a textbook urban legend. Or rural legend. In this case, it has all the classic symptoms. Teenagers, lovers lane, mysterious deaths, and the clincher. I never saw him, but my neighbour's babysitter's sister saw him.
All right, okay.
Proctor Valley monster stories go back to at least to the 60s, probably earlier. One version involves two teens who get a flat tire while driving through Proctor Valley late at night. The guy pulls to the side of the road under a tree, gets out to look at the damage. His girlfriend locks the doors, and the next thing she hears is a scraping on the roof of the car. When the cops rescue her in the morning, she learns that the scraping sound was her date's fingernails. He's hanging by his feet from a tree branch with a big animal-like footprints around the car. A thinly disguised version of the time-honoured book on the door handle story.
Oh, okay.
Like you say, it's very, very cliche.
Yeah. I mean, if it is legit, just make sure your tyres are good when you're going down this road.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they do burst, just don't get out of the fucking car. And you're sorted.
Call the AA.
Yeah.
I think in America they call it AAA or something, don't they?
Something like that, yeah.
But as well, where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. Like, lately, I've been, like, really looking into, like... Can you remember, like the old Universal monsters? Dracula, the Wolfman.
Right,
the Mummy, Creature from Black Lagoon, the Invisible Man, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's monster. Right, let's say they were Universals, like monsters. Then you've got, like, Godzilla, King Kong, whatever. Right, these are all from 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Mm-hmm. So, and people loved these films. Absolutely loved them. So, are people making their own?
Yeah.
Because they're like, say...
They're so ingrained into it that it's like, oh, yeah, what if we...
Say this couple, either that night before, sometime during the week, went to the cinema and watched The Wolfman.
Yeah.
Or something.
So, imagine if we had one sort of thing. What would you call it? And it's just spread,
and it stemmed
basically.
from there. They've made their own legend about it.
Yeah, maybe.
Again... Is there reports of this lad being
who
swinging
is this
from
lad?
a tree?
Do you know what I mean? We don't even know who he is.
No.
You'd think the parents would have reported his death and shit like that.
Yeah, but what gets me is the police were there.
Yeah.
They went, they saved her. They got her out of the car and found this lad killed.
Yeah.
Right? Where's the report of that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I know a lot of the times you can't, reports aren't always public knowledge.
No, but you'd
again,
think somebody would come out about it, especially like the parents. You think they come out and be like, "What did this to my boy?"
Yeah. But even then, like, it's just like because it creates mass hysteria in that area. That there's monsters running around in the woods. Police be like, "No, this has never happened."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There'd always be, but
assuring
because
the
there's
public.
nothing.
Yeah. And like you said, it's got the whole cliche about it, like the car breaking down, the
lovers,
all that sort of. Yeah, it's 100% just like a fantasy story.
Yeah, 100%. It's been told so many times,
and it almost sounds identical every time.
Yeah, you know, like, I've seen enough Scooby-Doo to know.
Yeah.
What the Proctor Valley monster looks like is a matter of debate. One person claims to have seen a huge flying beast of some sort. In the 70s, a local radio DJ organised a nighttime monster hunt. Why don't they do that now?
Yeah. Fucking hell.
He gathered thousands of teens in the area. We know what you were up to.
Oh, okay.
And later reported that they had seen something like an oddly built bovine, which is like a cow. Ensuing, I think so anyway. Yeah, bovine is a cow, I think. Ensuing publicity is probably responsible for the persistence of the deranged cow story.
No, makes sense.
A psychiatrist who once lived in the Alpine claimed to have seen a Bigfoot-type creature in the hills near his house. The doctor has shied from publicity, saying he wants to write his own book on the events, but third-hand accounts say he described a 6 or 7 foot tall, hairy creature accompanied by 2 similar critters. He made a plaster cast of a footprint 16 inches long and 8 inches wide. He also related many strange happenings and sounds around his home. Park rangers and other investigators could never confirm the sightings, but plenty of campers, area residents, and even a sheriff's deputy claim to have seen some large hairy thing tromping the hills of Alpine. One Bigfoot investigator notes that the similar Verheyes Indians had a legend of a similar creature that guards their burial grounds.
Right, so again, like, it could just be like
it's a stem
story that's gone from history to history, and it's just slightly altered here and there as it's gone on, sort of thing.
It's come from. Thing is, I've said in the past, and I still do, when there's already legends and stories about it from Native Americans. To me, there is that little bit of credibility about it, because if it's been something that's been seen for so long, there's got to be something.
Yeah, but then, like you said, unless it's breeding and like going from generation, it sort of rules out that it is a living flesh and blood creature, because it would be dead by now.
Yeah, but then you go into the paranormal aspect of things, and that's the thing. It's the same with Bigfoot, with any cryptid. And animals as well. Like, when you think of, like, because they like, especially with Native Americans, they have got things to do with owls, coyotes, and stuff like that. They're like whimsical, mystical. They're all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's always like spirit guides and all that bollocks.
Yeah.
So with that, then they're creating like these more paranormal events, even on normal animals, but they're doing it to stuff what people haven't seen, but it don't automatically mean that they're not there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at. Yeah,
cool. I feel like I'm just going chasing the tail with it a lot of the time. That's what I mean. Cryptozoology is no good to anyone's mental health. It really ain't, because you start, you think, no. And
before you know it, you need a psychiatrist.
Yeah, before you know it, you're headbutting the mirror. Repeatedly. Why do you think I always wear a hat?
Take it off, it's just scarred galore. It's like,
you
have no idea what I've been through.
Oh, but it does it all the time, because, like,
you're constantly second guessing yourself.
Yeah, let's say I'm not saying I'm a fully fledged cryptozoologist. I can't lace Jeffrey Meldrum's boots or Lauren Coleman's or anything, but I've got such an interest, and I like to think I can hold my own with most things. Yeah, that I do class myself as a cryptozoologist.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, and I've met we've met actual cryptozoologists. Richard Freeman.
Yeah.
Crypticon last year.
Yeah.
He is a fully fledged cryptozoologist. He's wrote books, he's done investigations, he's been around the world doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound big-headed, but
you did have quite an in-depth conversation
and
with
I felt like I held my own.
Yeah.
As someone who...
I was standing there like a tit in a trance, but...
But for someone who... I've never been to university, I've never actually worked with animals, as much as, like we said last week, how much I would
love to.
But I never actually have. I've just got like that much of an interest, and like, I try and look at things so logically.
Yeah.
That I was able to hold my own. So from now on, I am classing myself as a cryptozoologist.
And what?
Well, because at the end of the day, it's a pseudoscience. It's not an actual science. I can't be a cryptozoologist PhD because it don't exist.
Well, no, yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like
if
Jeffrey
it did,
Meldrum.
though, you would 100% do it.
Fucking right and all. Like Jeffrey Meldrum, his PhD is in anthropology. That's like study of humans and stuff. You know what I mean? So they have to have they're a PhD in another, but they got he's big level. He's a mental. I love him. But you know what I mean? So I'm classing myself as a cryptozoologist. I don't care. Come at me. You want to know something? I'll fucking tell you. Because there's no right or wrong.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. You can't be proved, like you said, you can't be proven right, you can't be proven wrong. No. So but you can't turn around and be like, no, you're lying. Yeah. All right, prove it.
I mean, I always try to look at things, because I like, with my love of animals and everything, I try and always base it on something similar.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Like, what is logical, what's not. But then again, I'm conflicted, because I've got a love of the paranormal.
But that helps in a way, like, because you can look at it from both aspects. So
Yeah.
and then go from like what sounds more logical and realistic, for lack of a better word, and things like that, and then try and put two to two together and end up heading the butt in a wall.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it. It's like arguing with myself. But then again, when you go more into like the paranormal realm, it then loses so much credibility.
Yeah,
because it's paranormal.
Anything can happen.
I'm not taking away from it because we do it ourselves. We love going on ghost hunts.
Yeah, you can't prove anything unless you literally get a ghost to go, see?
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, there's always going to be people like, nah, you fake this, or it's that, it's caused by this, it's done by that, and or it's just like, well, fuck you then.
But what I'm getting at is, I will fight tooth and nail for any cryptid to be from an animal point of view until it's not logical.
Yeah.
Until it is not logical for them to actually be an animal.
Yeah.
Prime example is a dragon.
Yeah.
And I'm not on about wyverns, I'm on about four legs, two wings, dragons.
Yeah. Because it's six-limbed mammal. Well, not mammal, but six-limbed.
Six-limbed animal.
Yeah.
Not with an invertebrate, so a backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see like ants and stuff. Yeah, they've got 6 legs, but they're invertebrates. They
ain't got a backbone.
No. They've got exoskeletons and stuff like that. That's an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
But throughout the whole course of nature,
it's never existed.
It has never existed.
So how can it all of a sudden just appear?
Hang on, I am trying to think.
Surely it hasn't.
I don't think so. I might be wrong. I might be really wrong. If there is, let us know.
The only thing I can think of realistically that has several limbs, but does a tail count as a limb? Like a lion's tail or something.
Yeah.
Does that count as a limb?
It does, but when you think, we've got tails.
Yeah, exactly.
Tailbones. So
no, but that's what I'm getting at. It's like that's realistically the closest you can get to like something with like
dragons have tails.
Vertebrae. Well, so they've got fucking 7 limbs then. Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's not happening.
They're just fucked.
It's not happening. And there's been so many stories. Like, everyone's heard of dragons.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been so many stories of dragons, of the 4-legged, 2-winged dragons.
Yeah.
Whereas I see it from logically, like, no, they can't exist, but wyverns
can, because their wings are technically their arms, sort of thing.
Think of it, they're just giant scaly bats.
Which, for those that don't know, wyvern is what you see in like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon and things like that. Like the 2 legs and the wings. That is technically a wyvern. I know they're called a dragon, but
no, yeah, they're a subspecies of dragons. Is the species.
Yeah,
but wyverns is a subspecies.
Yeah,
because then you've got drakes, you've got worms, you've got lungs, and all sorts.
Yeah,
I could be here for days talking about dragons. But yeah, so
go watch our dragons episode if you
exactly. Who we done it with a good friend of ours, Paige.
Yeah, we've done 2, haven't we? We've done the dragons one and the UK dragons one.
And the UK dragons, yeah. But the
still be one of the best episodes we've ever done.
What, UK dragons?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that magician.
Yeah, magician, the dog with worms.
Yeah. But yeah. So police watch that. So I will give everything benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Whether if it's if it could be classed as an animal and it's biologically could be, then yeah.
It's got that more believability to it and everything like that.
Even then, even if it's not technically biologically, because I mean, like with Goatman, Dogman and stuff like that. Like, but where it just seems that it's not too far-fetched.
Yeah.
I'll always think there is a possibility. Yeah. But going on, like with all the stories we said, like I'm not dismissing them all whatsoever, because there is a good chance that it could be, because obviously people have been seeing something.
Well, yeah.
Even if, like we've said before, like even if 99% of them is rubbish, it's that 1%. And that is what keeps me intrigued every time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. And the thing as well, because this is meant to be about Goatman, and the Proctor Valley monster was mainly said either about a Sasquatch or this cow.
Yeah.
But so how does that mix?
How do you get the two?
But I mean, when you think about it, like they're not actually describing it as a cow, or even as a Bigfoot. They're saying it's like this big
hairy basically.
thing on two legs.
Yeah.
Which, when you think of that and you think of monsters, you automatically think of Bigfoot or werewolves, or something like that. So, but it might have just been like the feature. It must have had horns or something.
Yeah, definitely.
To get the two, like,
sort
together.
of similar. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, that was the Proctor Valley monster.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're on to the big two. Josh, you can choose. Which one would you like first? The Maryland Goatman or the Pope Lick monster?
Seeing you mentioned the Pope Lick one last week, I say save that one for last.
All right, let's go Maryland. But I do think the Maryland Goatman is more well known. But we'll see.
We'll see.
The Maryland Goatman, also known as the Goatman of Maryland. You know, when you're doing a test and you don't want to be the exact same.
Yeah, you've got to fill up more words to make it that 500 limit.
Yeah. Well, it's like, he was born on November 1st. On November 1st, he was born. Or simply Goatman. It's a satyr-like creature or man-made hybrid, which supposedly lives in Beltsville, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
According to the legend of the Goatman, a scientist performing experiments on goats in the Beltsville Agricultural Research Centre found himself delving into more dubious practices, ultimately fusing goat DNA with his own. The scientist mutated into the Goatman and took to wielding an axe, which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Which he later used to damage cars. He supposedly still roams the back roads of Beltsville. One report focuses on a boy who was at his birthday party when his baseball rolled into the woods. The boy went to get the ball, and after a few minutes he screamed. His mother came running, and the boy said he saw the dark thing that stands in the corner of his room every night.
Fuck that.
A variation of the legend claims the Goatman is an old hermit, possibly disfigured or mutated or perhaps deranged, who lives in the woods, seen walking alone at night along Fletchertown Road. Imagine that, this whole hype of this Goatman and everything, and it turns out just to be an old homeless man.
But that would terrify... Well, I don't know if it would terrify me even more, but it would freak me out knowing that the fucker's standing in my room every night.
Oh, yeah, but then being a kid, could that just be like...
You always think. Even now,
like shadow people.
Yeah, even now sometimes you look at the corner of your room and think, is there someone there? And 9 times out of 10 it's just like a coat on the back of a door or some shit.
Yeah, the proper generic thing.
Yeah.
But no, and as well, it just makes you... Yeah, because you hear stories of like shadow people, especially like... what you call them? When you're awake but not awake. And you get like you see demons and stuff.
Yeah, what's it called? I can't think.
No, it's really gone out of my head. Not lucid dreaming. You're oh god. People are screaming it. Oh, what is it? It just came. It's sleep paralysis.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah, sleep paralysis.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
And yeah, and there's a lot of you get like sleep paralysis demons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it's that whole thing. They say your eyes can move, but that's it. You can't scream. You can't move your arms.
Yeah.
Nothing. You are just there. And you just see it. It's
vulnerable.
Unfold. Yeah. In 1977, two couples went out on a date when they heard scratching outside their car.
Again.
They turned on the lights, revealing the Goatman. It started running at them and managed to hit the car with an axe, but they got away with only a scratch.
Again, though, no reports, no names, nothing.
No, that's it. Well, no, I think this was a report.
Oh, I'm surprised I didn't say the names of who reported it or whatever.
But then again, would you?
True. Yeah, true. Yeah. You'd be like, yeah, all right, mate. I'll lock that down.
One thing is linking all of these up. They seem to all be taking place in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was definitely, obviously, a massive stereotype thing back then.
Yeah. And it's all going around in the 70s. So why the 70s are not now, say?
Yeah. But again, though, if it is a living, breathing thing, it could be dead now.
Mm. Yeah, but if it's only the one, that don't exist.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's the only one, it don't exist. It has to be a breeder population.
Yeah.
So really, people should still be seeing them.
Yeah.
You know.
Game's a game.
Game's a game. And now, unless it these had so much interaction with people, it was like, you know what, fuck this. It just
I'm done with you lot.
Deep into the wilderness.
That's why they're constantly scratching the cars. It's like, will you get these poxy metal things away from me?
Yeah. Just get the fuck out. But the Poplick monster is a legendary part man, part goat, or sometimes part sheep creature. Reported to live beneath a Norfolk Southern Railroad trestle over Floyd's Fort Creek in the Fisherville area near Louisville, Kentucky. In most accounts, the Poplick monster, named after the Poplick Creek below the Poplick train trestle, appears as a human-goat hybrid with the grotesquely deformed body of a man. It has powerful fur-covered goat legs, an alabaster-skinned face with an aquiline nose and wide-set eyes. Short, sharp horns protrude from the forehead, nestled in long, greasy hair that matches the colour of the fur on the legs.
Sounds like that demon from Insidious. That had goat legs, didn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of demons always say have goat legs.
Yeah,
and the devil.
The devil's pet was the goat, yeah.
Mm. And there is a famous singer which happened in England. It's called, I think we spoke about it before on Urban Legends, called Devil's Footprints.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
And I can't remember when it was, but it's a trail of something bipedal, like goat's feet.
Walking
miles, went over walls and stuff.
Yeah,
and then it just
faded off, sort of thing. Like,
just stopped. Abruptly stopped, and that's it. They call it Devil's Footprints.
Mad.
It's because as well, say it was someone putting them in because it was in snow. The footprints would be either side of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So that is a mystery.
Unless I've somehow managed to fly whilst doing it.
Which is impossible. Yeah. So it's not like they had drones back then or anything. Numerous urban legends exist about the creature's origins and the methods it employs to claim its victims. According to some accounts, the creature uses either hypnosis or voice mimicry to lure trespassers to the trestle to meet their death before an oncoming train.
Oh, God.
Other stories claim the monster jumps down from the trestle onto the roofs of cars passing beneath it. Yet other legends tell that it attacks its victim with a blood-stained axe. It has also been said that the very sight of the creature is so unsettling that those who see it while walking across the high trestle are driven to leap off.
Oh, God.
Doubt it. Other legends explain the creature's origins, including that it is a human-goat hybrid and that it was a circus freak who vowed revenge after being mistreated. In one version, the creature escaped after a train derailed on the trestle, which actually links the Poplick monster to the legend of the ghost train, which has also been sighted on the trestle. Another version claims that the monster is really the twisted reincarnation of a farmer who sacrificed goats in exchange for satanic powers. The Poplick monster, having no actual reported sightings, most likely exists only in the realm of myth and legend. Or myth and mystery. Black and white. Mm-hmm. The infamous Poplick train trestle has become a favourite spot for kids, especially ones conducting light-hearted bravery tests, daring someone to climb the trestle. This has not always been fun and games. However, in the summer of 1987, a young boy fell to his death from the trestle after evading an oncoming train, and this fate was met again by a young boy 13 years later. On April 23rd, 2016, a 26-year-old tourist, Raquel Bain from Ohio, died after being hit by a train while searching for the monster. Her boyfriend survived by hanging on the side of the trestle.
Oh, God. Oh, fucking hell.
So, you know, this is the thing. If you want to go out and do investigations, have at it.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to know the terrain you're on.
You've got to be... Health and safety... It's so cliche, but health and safety has to be number one. Like, if you're going on things like a train track or even around that region, expect a fucking train.
Yeah, exactly. Because they say it's not closed. It's not a disused train track.
No.
It's still used to this day.
Which is quite mad as itself, because obviously they'll have electric currents going through them and shit like that.
Not always. Diesel trains.
It depends if it was a diesel train or not.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a diesel train. But what gets me is like, yeah, I know I always say like, no, I don't give a fuck about that. If I die hunting, then that's the way it is, which is the case. But I only want to get killed by the monster itself.
Yeah, not other surrounding things. Yeah,
because if it comes out like I got hit by a train, you just look like a fucking idiot. Don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when you find it. It's like, well, why were they near the train yard anyway? Well,
yeah,
they were looking for a Goatman.
Yeah,
he's just like,
oh,
of course they fucking were.
Yeah, like, I'll behave. Whereas if I got actually killed by a Goatman, it's like, oh, at least he's proved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like, it's bittersweet in that case. But yeah, so you got to know your terrain. You got to know your surroundings. You got to be clued. You got to be clued up.
Yeah. 100%.
That kind of situation. I'm not saying don't go out and look for monsters or whatever, because you know it's a fucking great time. But take it easy, like, you know, don't
just be smart about it. Basically, don't just wing it. You have a rough idea of what you're doing, where you're going,
exactly,
and things like that.
Exactly. It's like when we go on hunts and stuff, we always plan.
Yeah,
you know, it's a thing, like especially with cryptid hunting, you can't necessarily plan, because sometimes shit could hit the fan if something happens. But you got to plan your routes, your exit routes, and stuff like that, knowing full well if something goes wrong, you know,
like take control of the things you can control, sort of thing.
And everyone who's with you have got to understand and know exactly what will happen if something happens.
Even for argument's sake, like when we went to Cannock. Even for see, I speak Dutch. I'm what? Even for when we went to Cannock, like when we split off, it wasn't just one person on their own. It was always at least two, and each had a fully working like walkie-talkie, and had a rough idea of where we were, so they can't just wander off and get lost, because obviously it's such a big woodlands. It's quite easy to get lost in there, especially in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly that. Because as well, it's not even the monsters you got to be wary of. Like, I mean, like UK, America, it's other people. You don't know who's out there. If someone else is just walking about in the woods in the middle of the night, chances are they're up to no good.
Yeah,
or they're just doing what you're doing. Which you've made a friend for life.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, like, especially not in the UK, but say like America and that, there's a lot of other animals. You got mountain lions, bears, wolves.
Yeah,
you know, like,
even a deer can hurt you.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But like, so you can't just expect to go off walking about. And
and especially as well, like the terrain. It's like if it's pitch black, you're not really gonna see that much of the ground. All it takes is 1 foot in lost and bang.
Yeah, if you break your ankle or something, you're stuck.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. So you've just got to really, really take care. And sadly to say, like, someone had lost their lives just by trying to look for a mythical creature.
Yeah.
But like I say, a lot of the time, especially with the Goatman, a lot of it is from urban legends.
Yeah, I think that's what it.
Mainly, I think that's what it is. Do I think it could be a creature? Maybe.
Yeah.
But out of a lot of the cryptids I've covered, it's down there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like for me, it's more leaning towards the urban legend, because, like you said, the stories are very similar, all around the same sort of time period, all got the same memo, if you know what I mean, like with the cars and shit like that. And so, yeah, I personally believe it is more of a urban legend, mythical legend, whatever you want to call it.
And like you say, it's a lot of the time it is they've documented reports. That even though, like, say with Mothman, for example, there is names, dates, times, exactly what they saw, places where they were when it happened and stuff like that. It is very well documented. Bigfoot encounters, very well documented. Dogman encounters, very well documented. Nessie, we could be here all day talking about. Even Jabathofi. And that's in the Congo jungle.
Yeah.
But every time people or someone has seen them, that's been reported, there's a time, there's a date, there is size estimates. You know what I mean? It's so much well documented.
Where there's literally nothing to go on.
This is hearsay.
Yeah.
It's all hearsay.
Yeah. The only thing that we do know is the states that apparently it's been sighted in.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's nothing to go on at all.
No. But like you say, Billy Goat's gruff, troll under the bridge, it's all very romanticised.
And especially as well, like I was saying, like you said earlier with like the demons, they're always depicted as having like goat hoofs and things like that. It's just, it seems all linked in, if you know what I mean.
There could be a very well a religious aspect to it.
Yeah.
And like with a goat man, and like you say, the pet of the devil was a goat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it goes back to what we was on about with the creepypasta episode, where it's like parents will tell their kids things like this to keep them out of the woods and that.
Yeah.
So obviously that's how it can spread a lot more and
100%.
things like that.
And like you say, with the internet.
That's going to play a major factor.
I'll bet the thing is, like with media, not saying social media, but just media. If I went to my old man and said, "Have you heard of Bigfoot?" he's going to say yes, because there was such a big influx of it, and there's been so many sightings, like the famous Rod Patterson Gimlin film and stuff like that. There's an influx. Nessie, big influx.
Yeah.
Yeti, and Yeti's in the Himalayas. It's not like it's easy to get to.
No, exactly.
But it's because it's just been so well documented on the media.
Yeah.
Whereas a goat man isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in the 70s, that if we didn't have media and social media like we do today,
we'd never even know about this.
Not a lot of people have heard of the Goatman.
No.
So let's say I may be sounding really hypocritical because with a lot of the scripted stuff I'll talk about, but I just feel like with this, as much as I want to believe it, it feels very, very hard to.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And like you said, you've always said, like, when it comes to cryptids, it's either you look at it from a flesh and blood creature point of view or a paranormal point of view. This one fits in that bracket of neither. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say, if anything, it'd go more paranormal.
Yeah, go more paranormal, but even then, it hasn't really got a paranormal aspect to it, if you know what I mean.
I think a lot of it just surrounds that urban legend, like especially with, I think it was the Maryland Goatman, where it was a scientist.
Yeah.
Went a bit mad. Done experiments with goats. DNA
Very
with
fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Theatrical and things like that.
It sounds a lot, right, and this is where it could get linked. It sounds a lot like the professor from Spider-Man, the lizard.
I was literally thinking that, yeah.
It seems like I can't think of his name or anything, but if you know, he's always got one. He only had one arm.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Connors.
That is it. And he wanted to be able to grow his arm back. And lizards are known to regenerate their tails.
Yeah.
So then he goes mad, and he turns into this hybrid lizard man thing.
Yeah.
Which is sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's where it kind of breathes similar. I mean, I don't know when Dr. Connors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when his arc started in Spider-Man.
I ain't got a clue. I'll only know it really from the film.
No, but if that is from like
around that time period,
around the 70s, you could use it with other animals.
Yeah,
and they've used the Goatman because, like you say, if you're in high Christian believed areas, like say a goat is a scary animal because it's to do with the devil. And if you think of a goat, half man creature, that is terrifying.
It's perfect. Didn't the Vikings used to use them for like sacrificial things? So do you know what I mean? And obviously, like you said, in high Christian times, they were seen as pagans and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it sort of does marry it very well. Yeah.
But let's say, I'm not saying it's definitely not out there. How can I say that? I've never looked for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never looked for it, and people have been seeing something. If they're telling the full truth, we'll never know. But I just find it very hard to believe.
Yeah, I agree.
Personally,
I agree.
Yeah, but no, I think I'm about done. To be fair,
yeah,
on the Goatman. If there's any other stories of Goatmans or reported sightings, please let us know on our socials.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of them was just in America, but for all we know, it could be spotted here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd think, they're the most famous ones. But yeah, it's the whole thing with like being near bridges and stuff. For some reason.
Like you said, all the stories, they just seem to fit another, like, they're a subcategory or something. Do you know what I mean?
It's very romanticised.
Yeah, exactly.
But no. Yeah, so I'm about done on the Goatman.
Decent.
What are we doing next week, Josh?
Well, next week we are going to be, for those who know, obviously, the whole thing that started me with conspiracies was 9/11. The whole, obviously, horrible terrorist attack. Obviously, off-brand of 9/11, we had our own, which was the 7/7 bombings. Obviously, there's no conspiracy behind that, but what I will be talking about is the controversies and everything that happened after that.
Right. Okay.
So, obviously, like, only recently I found out, thanks to a TV show and looking up and all that sort of thing, that there was another terrorist attack meant to happen like a week or two afterwards, pretty much the same thing, but it foiled. And because of that, obviously, the country was on high alert and that, and it led, unfortunately, to the death of an innocent man who they've claimed was a terrorist.
Yeah.
But it was everything that happened after that, where it was like how they covered it up and how no one got done for it. And you'll see next week, but God knows how they didn't get done for it. It's ridiculous.
This sounds heavy.
Yeah, it's mad. Honestly, it's just like, in what? Of course you got away with that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just typical one of them sort of things. But no, so I'll be covering that.
That'll be good. Yeah, so make sure you listen to that.
Yeah, boy. So, Ed.
Yes.
Where can they find us?
Well, you can follow us on Facebook, which is Missing Mysteries in black and white. You can follow us on Instagram, which is Missing Mysteries _. Not the word, the actual underline bit. Every time.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Thing is, I think I said it last week. If anyone's listening to the audio alone, they're going to think, why are they so buzzing about Instagram all the time? Watch the video and you'll know.
Yeah, exactly. And you can watch our video on YouTube. I'm just stepping on wires here. Jesus. Oh no, it's a girl.
Oh, it's the Goatman.
Yeah, you can watch our videos on YouTube where you not just get to see our faces, but hello. But also, that is where we do our videos of hunts.
Mm-hmm.
That is where we do for our interviews. Reacts. Yeah, when we actually end up doing a reacts.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll come eventually at some point. Actually, we do have some.
Yes, we do.
To react to.
We do indeed.
Austin, we'll get to it.
We're onto it, boy.
We will get to it. Trust us. But that is Missing Mysteries. But due to it being a bugger to find, because of the YouTube algorithms, if you go to our socials, i.e. Facebook and Instagram, we have got a link to everything, including our YouTube. And so you don't miss a video, if you like and subscribe, click that bell icon. Cool, I'm sounding right influencer.
Yeah, there you go, boy.
Like, comment, all that good jazz. It will then be easier for other people to find us, but just to their benefit.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. I don't know.
It is now.
It is now. But yeah, make sure you like and comment on our videos. That could be absolutely anything. You can follow us on TikTok, which is Missing Mysteries 10. You can follow us on X or Twitter, whatever Elon Musk fancy calls it nowadays, which is Missing Mysteries 1. You can email us. Still going?
Yeah.
Still got an email. Grand. So that could be theories. What are your theories on Goatman? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fabricated? Do you think it's an urban legend, supernatural, paranormal, whatever? Yeah. So they're your theories. You could email us your suggestions. What would you like to see on the podcast? Your criticisms, what we haven't done very well of, what we could do better, and all that. Praises, which we prefer. So what you liked about us, what you liked about podcast, the opposite. All the good stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to collab with us for whatever reason, if you want to be on our podcast for a subject, or if you want us to be on your podcast, or a video, or a hunt, or whatever, please let us know. If you want merch, which Josh is modelling us, because I don't know where mine is.
No?
I'm going to be honest with you. So I might have to get another one.
Oh, damn it.
But email us what you want, your sizes and everything, and we'll get it sorted.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Which is mythsandmysteries10 at gmail.com.
That's the one.
Cool. I'll get good at it.
Back into the swing of it now.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that is all of the socials and that, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, all right. Well, so Josh,
Yeah.
where can they listen to us?
Well, even though you already are, you fancy listening on another platform or all of them, you can find us on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Podchaser, Player FM, and iHeartRadio.
Fantastic.
So, no, that was the Goatman. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching or listening or both. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Happy hunting. Oh, you made a mess of yourself, mate.